Okay, so basically, I wanted to, I guess, show off um the current website that I have built in terms of, things that involve my YouTube channel and basically the work that I've been working on for a lot of years now. Um, I do want to preface, though, that this current website that I had built months ago and I had just gotten online here recently. Um, I'm most likely gonna have to start from scratch. I mean, it took me about a couple of months to build up to this point where you see it now. But because I'm not an expert in HTML and CSS, I'm most likely going to have to start over just to be able to make it mobile friendly because apparently when it comes to coding websites and things like that, you want to make the mobile version first and then do all your extra styling uh, afterwards. But unfortunately, I was only preoccupied with the PC version, and so I did a lot of extra styling. The code is very complex now, and I'm running into issues whenever it's, coming to making the mobile version. So I'm most likely going to have to start over from scratch. Just, I guess, that when I go in to remake it, I'm most likely going to make it a lot more simple, just to be able to get this kind of information out in a website format. But I guess I just kind of wanted to show the current progress of what it is that I'm working on. As you can see, it's all about the Gematria cipher here, which is the septenary cipher that we all learned from Marty Leeds' discovery. Not to say that he created it, but he definitely discovered it, and it was something that was pre-existing in the world. And we have lots of things that can prove that. But basically, the whole basis of this website is to really just not only save everybody else the time of having to decode various of the Bible verses in the New Testament in septenary. I went ahead and basically archived every single verse from Matthew 1 all the way to Revelation 22, which that actually took me longer than making this website just because it was a lot of typing. But I'm not going to go into every detail with the website. As you can see here, this is it right here. Just a lot of various bits of information. I tried to keep it simple, but you know, even whenever it came to making the mobile version, it was still too complex. Because you see all of this various styling of this image here of the cipher, this background image of the hypercube. It just, whenever you look it up on the mobile version, it looks all smushed. And whenever I went to try and follow the tutorials that I followed previously, I had apparently changed way too much styling for the PC version that it's complicating the mobile version. But that aside, I kind of just wanted to show the basis of it, which I'm going to put the link on the screen. You still can go check out this website on your computer. Just be aware that whereas some things are, workable with the mobile version, it's still very messed up. So I wouldn't recommend following this link on your phone or a tablet or anything like that. I would just say if you're going to go to this website, go to it on your computer because that's the only real way that it's going to show up. Later on, whenever I get a working mobile version, I'll go ahead and make that my main site and I'll go from there. But just so you know, this is still workable whenever you're looking at it on your computer. Basically, it's got all the information that I've tried to archive over the various years that I've been working on this. I got my contact information as well as my YouTube links here. Just all the information of what it is that I've been working on. The main basis of that being what I call the septors, which are basically the septenary gematria values for the various different verses in the books of the New Testament. So as you can see here, you got Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, so on and so forth for all the different books. And when you go to click on it, for example, I've got them broken up into sets of 4 chapters. So if we were to look at Matthew 1 to 4, for example, you'll see Matthew 1:1. And then, if you were to put that verse in the Gematria cipher, this cipher down here, A through M, N through Z, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you were to put all those words from Matthew 1:1 into the Gematria cipher, the septenary cipher, this would be the value right here, 265. And then for Matthew 1:2, it would be 231, and so on and so forth through all the different verses. This took a long time to decode, trust me. But basically, any verse that you can think of in the New Testament, I have it here. So, for instance, 1 Thessalonians, these are all the chapters in 1 Thessalonians here. And you see it's broken up by chapter. So that way it's all archived and basically ready for anyone who wants to go look up a verse, For example, all this various, these letters here, right, and these various numbers and stuff like that basically relate to different sub-information in the verse. For example, whenever you see the letter W, it's a reference to the number of words in a verse, whereas when you see L, it's the number of letters. When you see the letter C, it's talking about the value of the consonants as well as the number of the consonants, and the same for the vowels. And whenever you come across these various different letter combinations, it's basically the legend key here up at the top is to help explain what it is that those things mean, basically. So for example, when you go into, say, Revelation, go to the very last chapter here, or, Revelation 18, right? Say Revelation 18:2, that verse, all the words, and therefore the letters equal 645. Right here, it says 39 words, 166 letters, and the consonants equal 420, and there are 102, and the vowels equal 225, and there are 64 vowels. And below that here, where it says VQ, basically what that means is a verse quote. So it's like an individualized quote inside the verse. And the Bible writers specifically did that to create subsets of numbers inside the verses, right? So that's basically what each of the different letters and numbers are referring to inside of a verse, right? So, you got up here at the nav bar, you have the septors, basically all the values of the septenary gematria values for all the verses of the New Testament. You have the legend key up here, which helps to explain the various different aspects of that. Up here, the archive, basically what I've done is I've basically taken a lot of the various different archives of information that I've broken down, not only in terms of the New Testament, but also other connected things that are related to the gnosis and the exegesis in the New Testament. So for example here, the verse sum archive, one thing that I've done is I've gone through all those scepter values and I've tried to categorize them by their sum. So for example, one here that's 180, it shows all the verses that I could find, at least. I'm pretty sure I was thorough with a lot of the ones that I've finished. But basically, it takes all of the verses that equal 180. And if it's a quote, it will, clarify that. Like, for example, here it says VQ2, so it's the second quote in the verse. That is the one that equals 180. But it also comes with the other, aspects of that particular verse as well. But for example, Matthew 9:19 equals 180. Matthew 11:26 equals 180. And of course, all these things are relating to the number 180, which goes back to the Trinity, the triangle, so on and so forth, right? So I've also kind of, it's all of this is also still in construction. So a lot of these aren't complete. A lot of them are, but some of them, still need to be worked on. But these are all the key numbers that I've isolated as of right now for various reasons. But that's the verse sum archive. Chapter verse number archive, for example, categorizes verses based on their chapter and verse number. So, for instance, these are all the individual verses that are chapter 1, verse 26, or chapter 12, verse 6. This is, again, a specific mathematical aspect that relates to the esoteric math. But this also is another helpful guide for us to follow and understand and have archived. Here, these are basically specific verses in the New Testament that are, in order, so they follow one another and they equal the same number. So, for instance, Matthew 10:15 and Matthew 10:16 both equal 381. And there's only a few examples where this shows up in the New Testament, but here's all of them, right? So there's that. There's also different sets of words that are kind of grouped together. For instance, the primary Trinity, which is the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It's got all the gematria that's related to that. The 6 witnesses of heaven and earth, so on and so forth, right? That one's still in construction. I have different archives of all the titles and names of Jesus Christ. I have a list of all the various proper names, including their etymology and meanings. So, for instance, here is, Abba means father, Akaya means grief or trouble, Agar means stranger, Alexander means defender, protector of men, so on and so forth, right? And then, basically there's just various different archives of information that is sort of there to help organize various aspects of these, these various things. For instance, I have a list of all the triangular numbers. I have the triangulation of the digits of pi. I have a list of prime numbers, so on and so forth, right? So that's what the archive is. It's just basically a library and archive of various databases of information, right? And then here in the harvest are basically just articles, right? And supplemental documents that kind of help explain what it is that this website is about and what it is that this work entails. For instance, this article here, Numerology Means Number Logic, is just all about numerology and why numbers are important. As you can see, it hasn't even been started yet. I think this one has been worked on. Yeah, so this explains the septenary cipher to the best of my ability, at least. And it goes into detail, explaining it using words and images. And that's what each of one of these articles are here to relate, to kind of help explain, what these things are. And then here, it's like supplemental documents, various different rules and aspects of sacred geometry and sacred mathematics. And then last but not least is kind of a little bit about me and how to contact me. So basically that's the gist of the website. Like I said, the PC version, as you see it here, is available. You can go check it out. I'm going to continue to update it as I continue on, but starting from scratch. So as you see it now, it's most likely not going to look the same when it's all said and done, because again, I got to go in and basically recode the entire thing just so as to make it mobile friendly. And I hope that that's a success, because as of right now, I'm really proud of all the work that I put into this website as you see it, but knowing that, because I'm not an expert in this, I don't really understand the language of HTML and CSS. It's most likely not going to continue on as you see it here. But I just kind of wanted to make a quick video showing what the ultimate, one of the ultimate goals that I'm trying to achieve in this life, and that is to basically take the time to organize all these things so that other people will basically be able to approach this study or this work with all of it organized and, in a database and archived and ready to go. So that way they can look at all the information from above and be able to kind of more clearly work with it in that sense, and basically save them loads of time. Like, I am no genius. I'm no, teacher or anything like that. But one thing I am good at is organizing and archiving. So that's what it is that my work entails. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to show everybody, what's going to come in the future. And I hope that whenever I redo it and make the mobile version, it's as nice and stylish as it is now. But anyways, y'all have a good one.